Welcome to the Affirm Life Daily podcast. As always, I invite you to visit the website, affirmlifedaily.com. Also follow on social at Affirm Life Daily. I have a very, very special podcast today all about balance, harmony, and healing, and how we can bring in spring with that energy. So this is my first time having two guests. They're both guests that have been on before. I'm going to introduce them by name, and then I'll let them give a further introduction and tell you what they want you to know about what they're bringing to the spirit of this podcast today. I have Coach Tinsy and Tiffany Monroe from Healing Hands, Reiki, and Spiritual Development Inc., and that's in Atlanta. And Tinsy is a Fulu child, and she offers some great products, and she does health healing, coaching, and all that. But I will let you all take it away. Coach Tinsy, I'll let you start with your introduction.
Okay, hey loves. I am Tinsy. For those that may not know me, I am half of Ufulu child. Ufulu means freedom, and really from the very beginning of my journey with healing, it has been about that. So when it comes to my approach, I love to tackle the hard things like reversing autoimmunity chronic illness so that we can really just break down the generational patterns and have set up for our next 3 generations plus the empowerment as opposed to disease. So my background is in terms of healing, it's in Kemetic yoga, which is ancient African yoga. I got certified in 2017 in Jamaica, and it changed my life. We went down a rabbit hole in my story where in 2016, my mom gathered everybody into the living room and told everyone that she had cancer, that the toothache that she was diagnosed with was actually something else. So I feel really empowered by that moment to remind people that you can take a hold and steer a diagnosis around, because we dove into natural healing, looking up the herbalists, looking up cleansing and how nutrition plays a role. And so we were able to support my mom in reversing the diabetes that she had at the time within 3 months and her cancer diagnosis within 12. So it is a blessing. And this is what lit a fire in me and why I'm so happy to be here on the Natural Law podcast today. Yay.
That's awesome. I love that story. It's so genuine and powerful. So Tiffany, please introduce yourself and tell us what really kind of brings you into this space and makes you passionate about this.
Well, I am Tiffany Monroe. I am the founder and CEO of Healing Hands Reiki and Spiritual Development Incorporated here in Atlanta, Georgia. And our mission is to help others participate in their own healing. And we do that through various programs, Reiki courses, training courses, private Reiki sessions, various yoga classes, sound bath classes, and other conscious living classes that we offer to the community. Again, ultimately to help others participate in their own healing and also to help them connect with their indigenous practices and with their ancestors. So what we offer in terms of healing and living in balance and stepping into one's own. Yeah.
Love that, love that, love that. Oh, you ladies are so awesome. I can like literally feel y'all energy. Like I can feel it through the screen. I can feel your energy. So the first thing I really want to talk about is why, because this is really the real new year, the start of spring. Right. So why is it such a significant time of year? Tiffany, do you want to answer first?
It's the new year for us. It's rebirth. It's manifestation. You can reinvent yourself. Try again. Start over. What we have been sowing, so to say, in the fall and in the winter time is now going to spring forth. It's fruit, whether it's conscious thought, that we keep, that we hold in our mind, whether it's a physical practice, like a yoga practice or a Reiki practice, whether it's simply placing seeds in the ground and then watching them spring forth during this renewal period. So for many, not just for me and those of us who are on the call, for many, it's a time of transformation, of renewal in one's self first, and then to have those abilities blossom into the community for others. Yeah.
Yes. I can, I feel that blossoming, and especially when you garden and stuff like that, and you kind of connect with when you see your plants blossoming and blooming and budding, and it's like you kind of internalize that energy. So how would you answer that, Coach Tensi?
Well, I mean, you mentioned it. You said transformation. You mentioned like the renewal aspect, and it's like a renewal of self. I've been seeing it as kind of, well, there's the symbol of the scarab in ancient Africa, and it is like the symbol for renewal or rebirth. It's like rolling the sun through the sky. And it has to go from setting to rising to setting again. And in that renewal, I feel as though it's similar to the birthing process for a mother. Like you're rebirthing yourself again, and the contractions are the challenges, and the coming into this new day, you're different because you now have all of that wisdom that you've gained from the past, but now what choice will you make? So that springtime, those seedlings of ideas and thoughts and things definitely are in. So that's how I think of the new year. I think of it in that similar kind of way. It's an opportunity to begin again, but this time, let's begin again in a way that is aligned with holistic freedom. Let's begin again in a way that can truly empower us and just get a little bit closer into alignment with more of you, which is more of God. That's how I see it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I love that alignment. I've really been trying to focus on that, aligning my actions with my values. I've been saying that I have this little list of things I say to myself, and that's one of them: living in integrity, aligning my action with my values. So I love both of your answers. So why do you feel like it's so important to practice, like on a regular basis, things that promote balance and harmony and healing? I'll let you answer first, Coach Tensi.
So this is speaking to like the daily routine. Like how are we spending our time? Because like with money, you invest money and you can see, okay, I'm clearly paying this for this falafel wrap or whatever it is. I'm investing in that. So with time, it's a little bit different to where when we're coming up with our daily practices, I'm thinking, how we are again and again, that forms the patterns that our lives are shaped with. So whenever you look at, I don't know if you're listening out there, if you've ever just taken a moment to track your time and like where it goes, and you see like, oh snap, I didn't know I spent all that time cooking or commuting or on social media or whatnot. And that same time, if it's invested in things that you truly love, that you truly need, that you're truly called to, then you have more fulfillment and more sustainability in your wellness practice, right? But if we continue to allow things around us to shape us, then we just gonna float with the wind, and the daily practice is gonna be what it's gonna be. But and I find myself falling into that. So the daily routine, I feel like, is very crucial. What do you think?
Yes. What do you think, Tiffany?
Creating a daily routine of a healing practice, for me, it helps me to build discipline, right?
Yes.
And that discipline, the building that discipline helps me to build character, right? And integrity. And that keeps me aligned on my path, my destiny. So is it a struggle? Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Will there be days where, that daily practice kind of falls by the wayside? Absolutely. That's part of life. That's part of being human. But when you consciously incorporate a daily practice to the best of your ability, I mean, really put forth some intent into it, it builds discipline and it builds character. And it builds resilience when times are extremely difficult. Not just a little bit, hard, challenging, but extremely difficult times. We can fall back on the discipline aspect that we've built from our daily practice, and we're better able to take on those challenges and triggers of life. Mm-hmm.
Yes. 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 I agree with that so much. And, I really think it's important when you're creating those daily practices is to listen to your spirit and not necessarily feel like, oh, well, the popular thing is to do this and the popular thing is to do, the trend is this. So I'm going to listen to what resonates with your spirit, because your spirit is going to tell you what you need,
Mm-hmm.
what you're longing for in that process of growth and healing and evolution. So I really encourage people that, because the more that I've done that, even when I'm exercising in the morning, I kind of will just listen up like, how do you want to move right now? Like, what do you want to do? You know what I mean? And it's just been working for me so much better since I've just really, really customized my routines and practices to just listening to my spirit and not questioning it, not second guessing it. Okay, this is what my spirit's guiding me to do. This is what I'm going to do. So that's my sense on that, ladies. So I want to get into the practices. So that's the crux of what we're talking about. So I want you all to, talk about some practices that people can easily incorporate into their day-to-day lives that will help promote balance, harmony, and healing. And I will start with you, Tiffany.
I liked how you brought up the point of connecting to spirit. That is a daily practice that, I mean, it's a must for me. Like, I can't start my day until I connect to spirit first. My feet can't hit the floor until I connect to spirit first. So an easy daily practice before your feet hit the floor in the morning, right? You can just hold your head and speak into your ori, speak into your mind, right? Positive thought. Pray for yourself. That's not selfish to pray for yourself. Pray for clarity throughout the day. Pray for the right words so that you can communicate your intent throughout the day. Pray for a clean heart. So, when the daggers come, you don't react out of negative emotion. You pray for your body, you pray for your spirit, you pray for your mind, you pray for your soul, and you pray for your family and friends, right? You give thanks. In that prayer, you're giving thanks. You're giving gratitude to this new breath on this new day during this renewal as I wake up, right? So you're speaking into yourself. You're speaking life into yourself. So many times we wake up negative attitude, in a rut, right? Change that, transform that energy by speaking life into yourself before your feet hit the floor. You don't have to pay for anything to do that. You just have to take a little time, 5-10 minutes, center yourself, meditate, and pray before your feet hit that floor, so that you're
I love
ensuring
praying for yourself.
yeah, pray for yourself. You're ensuring that that day will run smoothly, that the obstacles will be removed. Any obstacles that fall before your feet and your path will be removed from your path, and you can walk through that day with clarity and with pride and with strength.
Yes.
Living in this world, on this earth, in this society is hard. You got to be strong. You have to be strong. So yeah, definitely pray for yourself.
I
Yeah,
love that.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a blessing. That absolutely aligns too with what I do every day. I have to, even if my baby is rolling over and crawling all over me and I'm hearing the alarm go off and it's loud, but even with all of that, no matter what the day is and what I have coming on with the day, to come into gratitude and just be with the essence, be with the energy of gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
That just shapes so much for the rest of the day. For I'm thinking if I were to say yes and if I were to say yes and it would be that. And how I think about it and how I kind of like make it all work is I have like a little phrase. We have a phrase that we call it the Freedom Five. So it's like 5 things that we do every day and it brings more ease. It's the same things that again and again we kept seeing come up in people's breakthrough stories, where whether it was like spontaneous remission, all of a sudden you're disease free. What did you do? Here's the mic. Tell us, please. All of those stories, these same 5 things kept coming up as themes. And so I love what you said, Cynthia, about really evaluating how it resonates with your spirit and if it's right for you, if it's ready, if it's something that you would truly enjoy the fruits of. Because there's some things that out there that you quote unquote need, but maybe not that way. And so the Freedom Five is kind of like my framework of what I look to keep me in alignment as best as I can with health on a day-to-day basis. And it starts off with B. And B, it's be, cleanse, fuel, move, and shine. Those are the 5. And so B is all about connecting with your spirit. It's about however that looks for you. So really checking in and saying like, okay, in this new moment, because I'm acknowledging that this moment is truly new and it's like a clean slate, I can press the reset button now. What would I choose to gift myself if I only had 5 to 15 minutes to do so? That would elevate me and empower me. And what you just described, you did that. that was a great example of it. And it can shape and it can change according to a day. So one day it might be like me listening to a guided meditation because I cannot focus for the life of me. Or another day, maybe it's just taking a few breaths and stretching. I love habit stacking. So it's kind of like when, and y'all probably heard of habit stacking, but for the person that has not.
You explain habit stacking.
Right. For the person that hasn't heard about habit stacking, it's kind of like you're stacking a positive habit on top of what you already were doing, kind of like Lego stacking on top of each other, or bricks. And so, for example, if you already was going to wash the dishes anyway, why not wash the dishes while listening to a guided meditation? Yeah. Or why not, if you was going to cook anyway, why not cook while you stretching and while you giggling with your kids, whatever it is. So it's just stacking on top of what you're already doing anyway, something that is empowering. So be cleanse is all about removing the things that need to be removed, whether it's toxins or waste. It could be as simple as drinking some water. It could be as simple as putting your feet on some grass and breathing. It could be as simple as giving yourself a massage. So simple. Or drinking some tea that empowers you. And so after we've gotten into alignment with B, then moving into cleanse is my next thing that I check in with. How can I remove the obstacle that is in my way? What can I give myself with that? And more times than not, it's just drinking some water, because that flushes everything out. It helps move everything. It helps the nutrients get where they need to go. It helps the waste leave out the body. It helps all the excess that didn't need to be there to move. And so from there, I get into fuel. Fuel is all the things that we're consuming. It could be content. It could be music. It could be what I'm watching. Oh, goodness. There's so much on social media. So, oh, y'all know there's so much on social media. Like a lot. It can suck you in. Mm-hmm. And so filling up, making sure that the people that I'm following are also like sharing the same values and pouring back in and filling the cup just by me watching that video. If I'm going to watch a video or if I'm going to watch a Netflix show, I want it to be something where I am filling back up the cup, and it's multi-purpose. It's like serving multiple purposes for me. So to each their own, whatever that looks like. But moving into move, that's just moving your body, however you feel called. If you like hula hooping, girl, go ahead and hula hoop. If you like hopscotch, if you rock climbing, dance, however, just getting in 10 minutes of sweating, because it opens up the detox pathways. And what that does is allows for the healing to commence. And then last but not least is shine. And that's just really sharing your journey, sharing honest, insightful, and nourishing expressions with someone that's in your friends and family group that maybe you want to strengthen that relationship. No strings attached. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Or someone in community, building community. So that's kind of like my framework that I always come back to. It helps me in the storm and the trying time. And it's kind of like my anchor.
Yeah. You know, the current theme between both of our answers is you're pouring into you. You're fortifying your own energy, right? And again, let's state this, that is not being selfish, right? You have to take care of yourself, pour into you, and fortify your own energy before you go out into the world. Yeah.
Yes, I agree 100%. And I've noticed, I've been doing this, it's probably been a few months now. It really resonated what you said to me, Tiffany, about the gratitude, because I started just every morning before I think any thought or do anything or grab my phone, I just list off in my head, and it's different things. Sometimes the list is really long. Sometimes I might be a little tired. It might be shorter, whatever. But what am I grateful for? Right. What am I grateful for before I think about any problems I'm having, any issues, any challenges, the long list of things I got to do? What am I grateful for? And that has been so transformative, because it changes your whole energy pattern in your whole body, changes your whole thought process. Now all of a sudden my day don't look so bad. It's not full of so many challenges. Like, dang, I am abundant. And I don't know what. I'm abundant. Yeah, I've had these problems. Yeah, I've had these losses, but I'm still abundant. Mm-hmm. And it's just having that always resonating within me and doing that every morning before I do anything else has helped me tremendously. So I do that. And then I have, like I said, I have this little list. So the first thing on my list are like 3 affirmations, things that I say to myself every day. And then I do a quick visualization of that happening in my life. And then I set my intentions for the day.
Yeah.
And then after that, I'll do like my little exercises, nothing crazy, nothing super extensive, get my little yoga mat and, exercise for like 15 minutes, get up on my trampoline or something a little bit, get my lymphatic system.
Yes.
Stuff. But it has just been just that morning routine that I've started has really changed me. So I was so shocked how much it changed me, just sticking to that routine in the morning, and how powerful it can be when you start your day with a certain mindset and you put your body in a certain energy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Absolutely.
And don't be afraid to be flexible, right, with your healing practices, because my training in yoga is Ashtanga yoga. So some days I'm there, and then some days my body is just like, not today. And you have to listen to that. You gotta listen to your spirit, because
Yeah.
those are the days where I'm able to do the yama, the niyamas, right? As opposed to the asana practice. And I'm sitting and I'm meditating, and I'm, in that meditation, I'm getting messages, right? And I can start my day. So don't be afraid to incorporate flexibility in that healing practice. There are some days where I feel like putting my hands and feet in the dirt and gardening super early in the morning. Like I gotta touch the earth, right?
Yeah.
And then there are other days like yesterday, for some reason, all of a sudden, I've been trying to make friends with crows. all, of, all of a
That's
sudden,
hilarious.
I kid you not, all of a sudden, these two crows are now starting to fly on my deck at the same time of day,
Oh,
right?
wow.
All these years of feeding them and trying to befriend them. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, Spirit, what is this message about? What is this about? Right? Is this
I'm
my
so curious.
ancestors trying to tell me something?
Right.
That's being flexible in the ability to hear and tune into spirit, right?
Yeah.
So the healing practices might change every day,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Absolutely.
I
Mm-hmm.
agree. Yeah, like you said, some days my exercise is just working in my garden because I know I've got about an hour's worth of work. That's some
Right.
exercise. I don't
Yeah.
have much to do nothing beyond that. And yeah, some days
I'll
it's
be
just dancing
walking
because I love
around with my
dancing,
child strapped
you
to
know.
my chest.
Yeah.
So no, I think that flexibility is important because when we get too rigid, then it
Mhm.
becomes something we look forward to, but something like, oh, and that's what we don't want. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Um, and then it's, with that healing, those healing practices, one thing I really want to focus on, and I would like each of you to touch on, is how we can help or get into better practices with taking care of our body. Because I know I'm a person that easily, if I get stressed, I want a snack. Just things that, and just things that we can do to try to help, maybe pick other ways to deal with certain feelings or certain energies that is going on, or certain challenges that we're facing, to help. And I know none of us are going to be perfect. We don't all have our little indulgences and things like that, but to just help us um, understand what we should be putting in our body, why we should be putting that in our body, and how to do that more often than not.
Yeah.
So either one of you can take that on.
I think it has to be a conscious thing. So often, like, our days are so busy, especially if we have full-time jobs and then we have families to take care of and this and that and everybody else but ourselves. We kind of sometimes forget, oh, I didn't eat, or oh, I didn't drink any water today, right? So it has to be something that is consciously implemented with intent, that hey, let me choose this versus this. Do we get cravings? Absolutely. Absolutely. And consciously being aware of that is a craving, or that's an intrusive thought, not of my own, right? Catching that, recognizing that, and then replacing it with something. Sometimes when you mentioned snacking, food snacking, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes when I catch myself, right, I'll just switch it up and I'll start singing a song, whether it's a church song, songs to the ancestors. And it's like that need to crave a certain snack just goes away, right?
I'm gonna try that.
I think
But
that's really
got a
interesting.
hymnal for you. Yeah,
Yeah,
sing
that
a
makes a lot of
song,
sense.
or like do some light stretching, and you'll believe it or not, it will, that intrusive thought will go away. It will go
Wow.
away, but
Definitely gonna
I
do
replaced it with something, right?
that. Okay, I'm definitely
Right.
gonna try that. And one thing that I've have gotten a lot
Okay.
better with is just making sure that it's not things. I mean, I have snacks, but I'll try to have something healthy, like like some sunflower seeds or something better than the stuff that's just terrible for me, or a lot of fruit on hand. But just not even having it on hand. Like I would have to get in my car, go to the store to get like a really bad snack, which I'm not going to do most
Right.
likely. You know what I mean? So I think that accessibility too helps a lot. Just clearing out your pantry, clearing out your little snack. I have a little basket with the little stuff I like to snack on in my room. Just making sure that it's not, it's full of things that it may not be the healthiest thing, but it's not, a horrible choice either.
Yeah.
Right. Well, the theme that I keep, it's just like on my spirit to speak on is how the hormones harmonize with the one at the very top. So the hormones are basically like the harmonizing conductor of the orchestra of the musical band, we'll say, and they help navigate not only the emotions but all of the different bodily mechanisms and that we're experiencing on a day-to-day basis and that we need in order to pump our heart and to breathe and all of the stuff move. And one of the things that you mentioned was really powerful of noticing the thought and then also coming back to something that low key, it fills your cup because the movement releases those good feeling endorphins that make you feel good. And the moment of just humming, that also stimulates the vagus nerve, which is like that one nerve that like just gets all up and all around the other internal organs like a hug. and, and it's calming it down. And it's really like, it's truly gifting your body what it needs more than anything, which is love. And the hormone that's all about love and bonding and real meaningful, deep connection is oxytocin. And we get that through meditation. We get that through laughter. We get that through a good, juicy conversation that just filled up your whole heart. And in all those different ways, we get oxytocin. And that happens to be like the one near the top that just regulates everything, chain reaction underneath. All the ones related to stress, the ones related to motivation, the ones related to brain fog or bloating, the ones related to irritability or cravings, all of those get harmonized with that one.
Yeah, I like that. And that kind of relates to, I don't even know where I saw it. I think I saw it on social media, but it was like a video or a post about, why you really want that snack. Because I'm not hungry. It's usually never out of hunger. It's because you want life to taste sweet to you in that moment, because it's because something in you spiritually or emotionally is not feeling it. And so it gives you that sweetness of life. So instead of eating, find, like you said, Tiffany, like you said, a replacement that gives you that same sweetness of life without, eating a snack or eating some junk food when you're not, or something like that. So that relates with what both of you said, is one of the, main reasons, that we can really get off track with our eating habits is just, it's, to feel that void. You want that sweetness. You want that sweetness of life.
And it
So,
goes beyond
minerals too, but that as well.
It goes beyond, okay, noticing, hey, I'm craving this. Hey, let me choose a replacement. Evaluating. The next step is to evaluate, well, why am I choosing this to fill a void? And what is this void? Where did this void originate? Where did it come from? Right? And what I'm choosing, is it healthy for me right now? So it all of that from a bag of chips, right?
Right. That just got over there. Yeah,
I bet you think you'll think twice
That's
next
not
time
the
you.
process, though. You're describing, you're breaking it all down.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I'm choosing this to fill the void. Why? And
right.
do I just replace it just to like mask? Am I just masking when I choose a replacement? What am I really trying to run from?
Yeah.
Right? Where is the healing? What needs to be healed?
Yeah. What needs to be addressed underneath?
Yeah, yeah.
Underlying issue underneath. Yeah. That is very true because it's easy to avoid those things.
Mhm.
And I've noticed too. The healthier that I eat all the way around, the less I will even get cravings like that. Because I've gotten back into my juicing, so I've been juicing a lot. And
Mhm.
oh my god, it helped me with everything, energy, just everything with my body, with my whole system. Since I've been doing that more frequently. What are y'all thoughts on juicing and how that can benefit the body?
My
Definitely. I
thought
think
is,
it definitely can benefit the body. My husband actually he orders like a line of juices every other week from a company here in Atlanta, and they deliver.
Oh wow.
And yeah, I think it's Mia Fresh Juice. Or I have to
Oh
send it to you, but
yeah.
she takes the time to cultivate different juices, and like my schedule. We're up at 3 a.m., and then I come home. I like just got home before I signed on, so I have a very intense schedule, work schedule,
yes.
and those juices come in handy. So, and she makes different flavors, targeting different organs, cleansing different organs of the body. So definitely, that's absolutely should be part of everyone's healing practice um, from time to time. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna definitely check that out. I definitely need to get that link from you, and I'll actually post it with when I
Okay.
post the podcast. Cincy, what are
Right.
your thoughts on juicing?
So, for juicing, one of the things that I think of is, okay, what are you looking to accomplish? Because depending on if you're looking to manage blood sugar, you may not want to have a juice that has a lot of sweet fruits in it,
Mhm.
You may want to avoid some fruits altogether, just until you can find some balance, some harmony on that front in terms of getting it under control. So I think overall it's great. However, if someone is particularly struggling with certain digestive issues, it will give the minerals, which is great, but they
Mhm.
may also need fiber. If they're not getting it from fruits and veggies, then it's going to have to come from something else, even if
Mm,
it's like some sort of supplement. I
Mhm.
don't be fooling with all these supplements out there. I do prefer the herbs, and that's my thing. But you got to get the fiber from somewhere,
Yeah.
even if it's like quinoa or something. Got to get it from somewhere. Beans, I don't know. Get it from somewhere. But um, because that fiber acts as a broom, and
Mhm.
it's like sweeping out your body, and we have to constantly sweep out the body. So I do love juicing. I mean, at first I learned about it through Dr. Savy back when he was in his body, and in the world, moving and teaching and things. And he was talking about like a 90-day cleanse, juice cleanse, or something like that, juice, herbs, and water. And so that's something that really inspired me and showed me some of the healing powers of juicing. And I got so into juicing. My first juice cleanse, I went all the way in, and it was, I think, maybe 7 days. And then at the end of the 7 days, I didn't know what I was doing. I immediately ate half a loaf of sourdough bread from the bakery at the local store. And so, so um, but it's phenomenal. But I feel like for a long time, I did it, quote unquote, in a way that I kept tanking my energy again
Mhm.
and again. Like it would lift up and it would tank. Like my blood sugar was just all out of whack. and it was
Mm-hmm.
messing up other things because I like the sweet. so I always had the sweet juice or the sweet smoothie or the, adding in extra dates or, whatever sweetness, agave, honey, whatever it was. And so I would just say for someone that's juicing, perhaps, maybe, if your goal is also something like maybe you're looking to really detox of the fat around your liver, or like really clear those filters of the body so that they can support you like a water filter, then I would say maybe go for green apples, go for berries in your juices if you're doing fruits, and maybe maybe not the pineapple if your goal is to really do a deep healing and you don't want it to take all this extra time, if you don't want it to take 5 years when it could have taken 1. So
Yeah.
it's just depending on the goal, but that's just what I would advise. But I love what you mentioned about cleansing them organs, girl, because that
Yeah.
is amazing. That
Yeah,
is
we
awesome.
we were very strategic in what juices to select. My husband and I actually had blood work done to see
Oh,
a base
wow.
what's going on in our body now that we're a little bit older, right? Because you never know. You just don't want to jump into juicing because you don't know what going on inside with your blood. So we had a baseline, metabolic baseline, hormonal baseline, blood
Yeah.
work done. And then we're very strategic about selecting the juices that he orders and when to drink them. Um, a man's cycle of life is different from a woman's cycle of life. So women,
Absolutely.
we need certain minerals and certain herbs at different times of the month, right?
Yes.
So very strategic about it.
Okay. That gives me a lot to think about because, yeah, I'll be a little willy nilly with it. So I will
I
look
understand.
at that a lot
Mhm.
closer and be more strategic with that. And then lastly, I want to ask you guys about fasting. What are your thoughts about intermittent fasting and then just fasting in general for health or just as a regular practice? Because I practice just intermittent fasting on a daily basis and I found it really helpful.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess I'll jump in. My practice, like I was talking about, is an Ashtanga practice. So we typically will stop eating probably around 6:30 the night before, and then get up in the morning and practice around 5:30 in the morning. So that's sort of an intermediate fasting type of cycle during the week. Um, but again, you want to take a look at what your baseline is with your blood and your hormone levels, because intermittent fasting is not good for everybody based on what their biochemistry is. And
Okay.
stop me if I speak too much because that's my area, biochemistry. But
Okay.
you want to take a look at a baseline of what's going on in your body before you jump into a fasting regimen. And think about why you're fasting. What is the intent? What are you trying to gain from that? Right? Is it just weight loss? Is it clarity of mind? Is it connection to spirit? What's your intent? What
That's
and then
specific.
having some knowledge of how to prep the body before uh, some type of fasting, whatever type of fasting you're doing, and how to come down from that. So it's not just jumping into it because you see it on social media. It
Mhm.
should be really tailored to your energy, your dosha, your body, your mind, your spirit.
Mm. Okay. Okay. I like that. I like that. Okay.
Yeah, I have to say, I agree with you. It does have to be tailored. And
Mm-hmm.
just like how men have different hormonal cycles, they run on a 24-hour cycle where every 15 minutes they have a new opportunity to get a new dose of testosterone.
Mm-hmm.
And women, we not like that. We had that one little time in the month, and that's the peak for testosterone. Okay? Most of the things are very cyclical, to where how I view fasting is that it is absolutely necessary, considering how many toxins are in the air, in the water, in the food. There's over 10,000 different food chemicals, and then way more than even when I was a child.
Oh, yeah.
And the ingredient labels are completely different now. And now things that are linked to brain and nerve, eye issues, or heart issues are hidden up in the package inserts of these different additives of the foods. And we don't even know. It's like, wow, grandma has all these symptoms of dementia.
Mm-hmm.
What is she eating? Is she fasting? How is she fasting? Scared of fasting. Maybe the person, like people in my family, have horror stories around fasting. I used to grow up hearing like, you don't want to drink too much water or you'll end up like grandma and she was passed out, And so I used to like really be really scared about drinking water. And I would just drink tea and juice, which would spike my blood sugar, the kind of juice I was drinking. Okay. And it wasn't until I was like, there's something to fasting, because I kept seeing healers like Sebi and Queen Afua at first, and then it was naturopathic doctors and different people that specialize in hormones and hormonal health. Dr. Mindy Pelz is one that I have, learned a lot from through her books. And one of the things that gets mentioned is how in fasting, hey, sweetie, my daughter's coming. Hey, love bugs. I know. In fasting, one of the things to keep in mind is that at different times of the cycle, you may not want to do it. Okay. Yeah. Please listen to the body, because it will whisper. And one of the things that I've been noticing is how if we have a sign in our body, like maybe we start to feel a little brain fog, that's a sign that estrogen's out of balance, and maybe she needs a little more good fats to be incorporated in your meals in order to balance that out. Or maybe you need to fast a little longer in order to help her cleanse and move around and come back into harmony. Yeah. And so different times of the cycle, different phases of the cycle require almost a whole nother lifestyle for women, which is wild. But so fasting, I generally say I love it. It's phenomenal. It's done so much. I've seen it heal so much in my own life, with eczema, with having patches of my memory just gone. After I gave birth, I had moments of walking into a room, not remembering why I was walking into that room. People telling me things, and within 30 seconds, it's gone out my memory, and I don't know. So all of this is very connected. So there are some times in a given month where it is not advised at all to fast. And it's unique to every woman, because your cycle begins at a different time than mine does. You have a different rhythm. You just got to find that rhythm and find the cues that the body gives it, learn the cues, so that you can really lean into your spirit more with more clarity, and knowing, when I feel this symptom, this is out of whack. Okay, cool. My blood sugar went way, okay, cool. So that way, that's how I course correct. And however it suits for anyone that's listening. Modify.
I like that, because that's a big thing. I've really, like I said, I've really been trying to just listen to my body, and follow the cues that it's given me, with the choices that I make for exercise, or fasting, for what I'm eating, stuff like that. So I think that's really, really helpful. advice to listen and follow our cycles and things like that. So now we've shared like a lot of great information, things that we can do. But the problem I feel like most people have, and that I've had a lot of times in the past, is you'll start doing it and then you fall off. You fall off. So what are some things we could do to not fall off when we start incorporating these habits and these new practices and healing our bodies and healing ourselves and, getting a connection with our spirit? How do we not fall off from this?
Having accountability with self, checking in with self, and having someone to check in with you who's aligned with the same goals that you're aligned with, having people around you that share the same passion and energies, basically building a community that everybody can rely on. You guys can rely on each other, whether it's your spouse on the same path, incorporating the same practices to build spiritual development within themselves, whether it's a sibling, a parent, a cousin, a friend. You're building community with like-minded people or like energetic bodies, right? To ultimately build this consciousness of healing. And part of that, building a consciousness of healing, community around you is everyone being accountable for themselves and for each other. So operating out of that energy of love.
Yes, I love that. And community, my last podcast was about community. I think community is so important. Having people surround you that, like you were saying earlier, I think Tits, you were saying, that fill you up, that help. One of y'all was talking about being filled up. And I think that's so important because we're in like a hyper independent society. Oh, I'm Superwoman. I'm going to do it all. I can do it all. I don't need nobody. I don't need no man. I don't need no friends. Yeah, you do. We all need a community. We all need other people. We're communal beings. So I think I really like what you're saying. The love and the community, I think that goes a long way with being able to keep these practices going. What do you think, Tensi?
Yes, and to everything always. Yes, and the thing that came to my heart was to say, well, it was something that earlier today we were having a video call with a family member that had a surprise hospital visit, and she was having a moment to connect with our daughter Omi and just like cuckoo and cooing and all the things. And she was saying this thing that really resonated with me. And when you were mentioning the question and your response, love, it brought me back to it. So she said, everything in moderation, including moderation. Mm-hmm. And so
I like that.
Give yourself the freedom to fall and the freedom to change. And for me, it's one of the things that I struggle with is this idea of progress over perfection. So sometimes I get rigid with myself and I'm like, oh, freedom and truth for everybody. And then when it's for me, it's like, girl. So really just remembering that abundance that you're talking about, Cynthia, remembering that the same source that flows through all things flows through you. And you're given whatever challenges, whatever things that are going to, because it's habitual, it's like ingrained, it's like the same tractor on the farm creating these grooves in the earth, and they're super deep grooves because you've done that for so many years. And then now all of a sudden you're like, I'm a change. And then these grooves still there. So coming up and lifted up and going to this other side and creating that other groove it's a journey. So just remembering that it's a journey and trusting the process along the way. Sometimes it's going to be feeling like you all over the place. Welcome to the club, honey. It's okay. But that healing and community that you mentioned, another word that came to my mind was like circle. So healing in circles, finding the people that have the same core values as you. Like, for example, this group of people with this podcast, same values. And sharing the things that you are in need of, the things that you would love to experience, the things that you are ready and have the capacity to experience. And honestly, I feel like more conversations that we have with people, the more that we realize that we're not alone. And the more that we realize we're not alone, we actually get the opportunity to see ourselves rise to the occasion. So, it's definitely time to rise. It wasn't a better time to rise than springtime to rise. Okay. So this is the time. It's important. It's important.
Yeah, and I found through something that's helped me is changing my space, the spaces that I'm in. So like, I changed a lot of the things that were like just even hanging on my walls. So like I have my angel numbers on my walls. I have the chakra system on my walls. I have a artwork of meditation and affirmations and poetry and the 4 agreements on my wall. So it's like, I can't forget. I can't get too far because I'm surrounded by the things that I want to root myself in on a daily basis. So I found that to be very helpful. Just changing my surroundings a lot and also decluttering, which I'm still working on. My closet still needs some work still, but those things too, just my space being a certain way, really has helped me more so, stick to the things that I want to stick to and just stay rooted, because it's easy to get off track, to get distracted, to get challenged, and to, it's like, oh, forget it. I ain't doing that stuff no more. But, it's a lot easier to remember when you have those positive messages surrounding you. So,
we got a hand clap from Omi. So I don't know if you saw it, but she was like,
oh, that's my girl right there. Oh, that's my girl. So this has been an amazing conversation, and I would like to open it up for any questions or comments. Y'all have been so patient with us.
Peace.
Hello.
hey.
Hi.
So many gems, lots of wholesome gems. I'll say this was lighter on the heart. This was more wholesome and great episode for those out there in the universe. I frequent this podcast, so I'm just making a comment on the general episodes that I've seen. Some of them be like challenging everything that you think in the world. This one's very, very grounded, I'll say. And I appreciate all 3 of you guys. So one thing, and I'm the other half of Ufulu Child, by the way. And that's why baby's happy, because she's like, Daddy's voice.
Yeah. With the hand claps.
One thing that I wanted to maybe like add and then hear comments about to the conversation is what I put in the comments, which is finding time and making time or creating time are 2 separate things that both align with all of your goals. And so let's, if we put that into health and wellness terms, if you are on a mission to lose weight, right, or to not be in pain from a certain pain anymore, finding time, whether that's time to research, time to practice, or a time to network and seek out ways to connect with people that will lead you to, someone else who can help you with the specific thing, and creating the time to do those things are 2 separate things that both help, that both work in tandem with each other but sometimes we think that we don't have to find the time, or sometimes we don't find the time and we try to force creating the time, or sometimes we just find the time and we never create the time. And so I guess in the realm of health and wellness, I want to know what you guys' strategies are for balancing between finding time and creating the time.
I think it has a lot to do with setting boundaries and sticking to those boundaries, which goes back to self-love. You can find the time in your calendar and pencil this in and pencil that in, but then putting forth an effort to actually do it is more of creating the time, right? And that takes boundary setting, recognizing that it's okay to say no. You have to say no to something in your day to say yes to yourself, to say yes to your healing practices. So saying no, creating that boundary, saying no to something else is finding the time, right? Actively engaging in that healing practice is creating the time, right? Because you're actively putting energy into it.
Yeah.
I love that. And Cynthia, if you had something to say, feel free.
Well, what I was going to say, I like what you said about creating the time. And that's why the practices that I started doing in the morning, I do them first thing. So I don't even allow, like I said, I don't allow myself to do nothing else until I do these few little things that I like to do in the morning that centers me and grounds me and, gives me that spirit of gratitude over, victimhood or any other energy that I might carry for that day. I can center myself in that gratitude and that abundance. So, it's all about creating the time. So, like I said, I do that. And then I usually will always play a little word game, the Wordle game on the New York Times and My Bestie. I'll do that in the morning, get my brain working. Just little things that, make a big difference in how your day goes and how your energy is set. So I think it is about creating that time. It's really important to make ourselves a priority, because it's real easy, especially as women and as mothers, to put yourself real low on that totem pole. Take care of everybody else, but we have to make ourselves a priority as well.
Right. That yes, I also prioritize it as first thing, even if I in my head on the busiest day, I see it like this. I'm like, okay, well, if I only have 5 to 15 minutes, well, how can I just pour in all of the love that I can into myself? And my lens is through the Freedom 5. So much like what was mentioned with creating the time, it's first thing, even if it's just 15 minutes.
Yeah.
First thing. And then it's time where I'm dedicating to pouring into my relationship with my husband. So I have to put it very in the beginning of the day and make it an everyday thing. Because if I put it to the evening, I know me say that's not going to happen. But that part of me is also like, oh, we'll do it. It's going to be so good. We'll just do it later. And it doesn't happen ever, except for the rare moment. So putting it at the front of the day is something that is making it convenient. So because it's something that I have to wake up a little earlier before everyone else is up and about. That's part of me creating the time. But it just does it makes such a difference. It makes such a difference because I don't pick up thoughts and hold thoughts of resentment. I don't hold thoughts of grieving my independence and my freedom. Like sometimes we can tell stories about giving our time to others all the time, and they're disempowering stories. So that's how I create the time. it just mirrors what y'all saying.
Yeah, no, that's very true. Very true. So, any other questions or comments? Anyone? Going once? No? Okay. Well, I know this ran a little long, but we did pretty good, especially for having two guests. And I thank you both so much. This was very informative. And I would like to ask both of you to send me any links that you want me to post with this. So it could be, of course, links to your own websites, but if there's any resources, books, other podcasts, where we can order the juice from, things like that, any links that relate to the things we talked about, please email me those and I will list everything with when I post this podcast to my website and on YouTube so people can have that information, because I think you all shared a lot of helpful information, dropped some gems. So I want to make sure I can share that with, anyone that will see this podcast in the future that wasn't here for the live. So any final words of encouragement or inspiration, ladies?
Self first. Put yourself first. Take care of self first. Balance your energy. Every day is a new day, is a new opportunity for you to rebirth yourself. Not just with, the theme of our discussion today, spring and rebirth. Every day is an opportunity to rebirth self, where you can pour into yourself various healing practices. As soon as you wake up in the morning, you have a brand new opportunity, right? When you go to sleep at night, you have a new opportunity to program what you're going to be focused on when you're sleeping. So when you wake up in the morning, you have another opportunity. But yeah, pour into self. Show love to self first. Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. I would just say, give yourself grace and know that you're not alone. And when I say that you're not alone, it sounds cliche, but it's so true. Like, there are people around you in your life that maybe you've had a brief conversation with one time, but they are on a similar journey. And sometimes it's just opening up enough to share your story with someone that will connect you, and you never know. Right, only. Right. It could be that lifelong connection that gives you the purpose to continue. If you need support, I'm also here. Free strategy calls. I have a Hormone Heroes guide that I created, which breaks down for women mainly. If men follow it, it will help because variety. But it's really for women to notice the signs that the body is saying what's out of balance. How do we bring it back into balance? It's like a quick reference guide. So, and we have an event in Austin if you're in Texas. All around healing and arts and breaking generational cycles of disempowerment and disease. So.
Yes, awesome. And we'll definitely post, send me a link for that too, for the event. So I can put that on there too. And I just my final word would just really be to reiterate that grace, give yourself grace, because I definitely know that I'm a person that is way overly hard on myself. And I try to take a step back when I'm doing that and say, if your friend was having this problem, or your daughter was having this problem, or your brother was having this problem, would you talk to them like this? If I wouldn't talk to them like that, I'm going to stop talking to myself like that. I'm going to give myself the grace that I would give them. I'm going to give myself the support I would give them. I think that has helped me a lot, doing that little practice, just because you won't get anywhere like that, beating yourself up and abusing yourself and talking down to yourself. It's just going to dig you further into the habits and patterns that you're trying to get out of, because now you feel bad about yourself. You're demeaning yourself instead of loving on yourself. So yeah, it's all about, to me, really giving yourself that love and that grace and that compassion that you would show to others. So again, thank you, ladies, so much. This was healing for my spirit, just having this conversation. So I can't wait to watch it back and take some notes and all of that good stuff. So again, I invite all of you to visit the website, affirmlifedaily.com. There are affirmations, poetry, resources, all the previous podcasts, list of upcoming podcasts. So I really try to make it a very holistic site full of information that's helpful for anyone, whether you're into the truth and freedom movement yet or not. There's tons of great information on there. So I invite you to follow on social media at Affirm Life Daily as well. And with that, I wish you all infinite love, grace, and gratitude. Have a great evening.
Thank you.